Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to this Fireside chat session. I'm Sneha Jha, editor of ETCIO, and I'm very pleased to welcome my guest, Prashant Lele. Prashant is the Director Sales India for Denodo. Prashant has over 22 years of experience in the India market. He has worked with companies like CMC, BEA Systems, Oracle, Teradata, and TIPCO. He's currently working with Denodo as the Director Sales for India. Prashant, welcome to the Fireside Chat session. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Sneha.
Prashant, there is a common awareness of the failure modes of traditional architecture like centralization, data ownership, and application centricity. How does a data fabric have an advantage over traditional architecture on these aspects?
Sure. So let me answer this question starting from the beginning. So there's always a gap between what business is expecting and when IT is offering that. In the eras of 80s and 90s, the gap was big. IT used to take more time, maybe around 6 or 8 months time to fill the gap. In the 19 era, we were having various data sources, having multiple applications and their data sources located at multiple places. People wanted to have a unified analysis of the data. That was the business requirement, and that was the gap because that was not possible as all the data sources were at different locations and in different applications. That gave birth to the data warehouse of the world. So what people started doing, how IT fill the gap of business, is that they brought all the data at one place, made it in one format, stored at one place, and then say you can run your reports on top of this. You can fire your queries on top of that. People were happy till the time data started growing. We come to the 2010 kind of era, lot of new data sources coming in the picture, data from social media, data from IoT devices, and all the data was equally important to the organization. It was practically impossible to put all the data in one place. So people started creating data lake and then multiple data lakes. And this has brought them to the level of a similar architecture that you have data silos, data available at multiple locations, and no unified data analysis was possible. By this time, business also changed their requirement. They not only wanted to have a unified analysis of the data, but they wanted to have it on a real-time or a near real-time basis. Now, IT has to fill this gap. And that's where this data fabric layer comes in the picture. It's a layer which will sit on top of all your data sources, and all your data consumers will come through this layer to connect to the various data sources. This layer will actually tie to all the data sources which can be scattered across the globe, and the data sources can be in any format, structured, unstructured, or even a semi-structured. This will allow them to connect to these data sources on a real-time basis, integrate these data sources, and make the data available for all kinds of use cases that these business users would be asking. And it will also take care of the governance and the security part by offering a role-based access control of the data. So if I have to summarize the advantages of data fabric layer over the existing architecture that you have, first of all, we would not say that your data warehouse or data lake, you need to replace that, but this layer will sit on top of that and they will be another data sources for us. We offer a real-time integration would be possible, and your use cases like risk management, fraud management, that kind of scenario would always need a real-time data available. We will offer a secure data no matter wherever the data is available and wherever the users are there.
So, Prashant, data fabric is more than just an integration layer. It
Yes.
drives and delivers trusted, integrated, and consistent view of business data. How have you seen your customers in the BFSI industry benefit from it? Can you state some instances here?
Oh, yes, I can share a lot, but let me give 3 examples here. One of the multinational bank based out of USA, they used to take around 3 days time to approve the auto loan, the vehicle loan. And this was primarily because getting the data from different data sources, putting it in the format that the business user wanted used to take more than 1 day. They brought that time down to 3 hours because all the data was available with them within 5 minutes. So they started advertising that apply for a vehicle loan in the morning and drive your favorite vehicle on the same day. The other bank in Europe region, let me come to the Europe region, they actually wanted to offer a self-service business initiative to their employees because they never wanted IT to interfere, as business people wanted all the data available all the time as and when they are working. So they applied this layer. They used the role-based support and role-based access control rules to ensure that all the business users are getting enough data available whenever they want. And let me tell you one example during the pandemic kind of period. A bank in US, what happened is Treasury Department in US, when the pandemic started, came up with the idea that they would help the smaller business. So it was like a loan waiver program. You apply for a loan to any bank, US Treasury is giving you a fund of 11 billion US dollars. If you qualify in a loan waiver program, you don't have to repay. And the program was the money has to be utilized for giving salary to your employees. You should not fire your employees during this period, and some other rules. Now, what happened here is our customer, a bank, was generally prepared to handle something around 5,000 applications per week. They got a flood of applications, more than 21 applications with 21,000 applications within a day. And the business said, I don't want to lose this business opportunity. Now, there were a couple of challenges into that. The Treasury Department said, I have a limited budget, which is only 11 billion US dollars. Once it is consumed, I'm going to stop this program. They also allowed companies to apply for the loan in multiple banks. So if I, as an organization, apply in bank ABC, bank A goes to Treasury Department with my application, it gets approved, my loan waiver is approved. Tomorrow, bank B will also go to the Treasury Department and they will say, no, we have approved for this company. You lose the business. Now it is practically impossible for our customer bank to deploy more manpower, train them so that they can handle more loan applications in that day. So they went to their best friend, IT within the organization. They said, how can you help me? Now, IT realized that they have already deployed a data fabric layer in the organization where the loan origination application, CRM, and core banking and MDM is already integrated into it. Government was giving their rules in a flat file, and that rules of qualifying for loan origination were changing almost every day because this was the first time government actually announced this. So those flat files were integrated in the fabric, data fabric layer, and IT just wrote one query, one simple SQL query, and generated a report that these are the 3,000 applications that would qualify for the loan origination, for the loan waiver program. And that's how they help business in getting, prioritizing which applications they should focus first.
Right, right. Now, Prashant, how can data virtualization bolster the data modernization efforts of BFSI organizations in the post-pandemic era?
Absolutely. So I think two changes happen in a pandemic era. One is work from home. Everybody started working from home, and the organizations were not prepared for that. In a sense, the infrastructure was not ready. The second thing that started was everybody was talking about cloud, but it got accelerated. Now, more organizations, especially in BFSI, are either moving something on cloud or they have already moved on cloud. So, and these two things will continue because the latest report says that a lot of employees have shown willingness to continue work from home, even if the pandemic is almost over. So what is going to happen is people need to get access to the data which is scattered across the globe. As people have moved a lot of data on cloud and multiple clouds, so we have a hybrid cloud kind of scenario, and that has to be made available to their employees in a secure way. A lot of employees were not having a proper reporting tool or a BI tool because of license issue, and they started continuing using whatever tool was available. Now they want to simply continue what they have been using because they are comfortable. So you have a scenario that the data is scattered at multiple locations. and the users are using it from any location, work from home or somewhere outside, and they have various types of tools and they want to continue using their tools. This is the perfect scenario, and all these three problems, the data fabric layer can take care. User need not worry where the data is, organization need not worry what tool they are using to consume the data, and everything would work fine for them.
What are the business outcomes that data virtualization can help BFSI enterprises derive in terms of cost reduction, revenue generation, a single view of customers, etc.?
Oh, all the three, literally all the three. In terms of cost reduction, since we don't copy any data, since we don't replicate, relocate, there's a huge saving on the hardware and software cost as well as services. There's a huge saving on time to market because we go live very quickly, case by case basis. In terms of increasing the revenue of the organization, the example of the bank during the pandemic period, I said, just imagine the ROI they got. Within 24 hours, they developed one query, they went live with that. Instead of going through 21,000 applications, they got a list that these are the 3,000 applications you should focus because we will get more business there. So all the 3 points that you mentioned, the data virtualization layer, the data fabric architecture will help.
How does your data virtualization solution integrate with the cloud? What role do you see it play in enterprises that operate in either hybrid or multi-cloud environments? And how open or interoperable is your data fabric?
It's absolutely open. So first of all, the license that we sell, one can deploy it on premise, or you can take it to the cloud, bring your own license policy. And we are cloud friendly. All the cloud providers, cloud service providers are our partners. And if you just search there, you will find Denodo. So you can buy from them also, or you can deploy on their cloud also. We have a lot of customers, especially multinational companies, those who are working in multiple countries and having hybrid cloud kind of setup, and we are already supporting them.
What is the level of preparation or gap analysis that organizations need to do before they adopt data virtualization?
Not really. See, data virtualization, Denodo platform, you should consider it more like a database, and it has an architecture like a database. So if you can write a SQL query, you can quickly learn how to write a query in Denodo. But the first step you should do is identify what business problem you want to solve and note down the steps for that. And that would be the beginning for us. And one can go live on report by report or case by case. So one particular query, one particular report, you write it, you test it, you go live with that. So not much analysis, not much time it would take. As per Gartner, this technology, data virtualization, takes the least time when it comes to the project implementation time.
Prashant, thank you so much for talking to us. Thanks
My
once again for
pleasure.
your insights.
Thank you for having me. My pleasure.